卡加利嘅朋友啊，大家好，我係錢錢，卡加利嘅地產經紀。有觀眾問喎，係乜嘢係 Title Insurance 產權保險？今日咧就我好高興啦，請咗360 Legal Service 嘅張律師 Matthew 張嚟同我哋講解一下 Title Insurance 產權保險。
Hi Vivian, thank you for having me over. Like she said, my name is Matthew from 360 Legal Services, and I'll be talking about title insurance today.
張律師啊，乜嘢係 Title Insurance 啊？
That's a great question. I would like to break that down into two parts first. So, title is the ownership of the property. So that's the registered owner who owns the property, the deed, essentially. And then, so title insurance is the policy that makes sure that the owner remains the owner of the property with no negative encumbrances.
同埋咩人要買 Title Insurance 咧？
It could be the lender, so the bank could require that the buyer buys title insurance, or alternatively, the buyer themselves can buy insurance if they if they feel more comfortable to have that title insurance.
咁 Title Insurance 係保啲乜嘢㗎？
Title insurance covers actually a lot of things for the owner and lender if that's a situation. So if a situation is the original owner sells the property to the purchaser, there is a gap period called before registration. And in that, what the original owner or someone fraudulently represented that they own the property had registered something like a line of credit, that could be a matter that title insurance will cover because that's a matter of fraud. Other instances, what title insurance covers is things like builder's liens and construction liens that weren't obligations to the new owner. Lastly, if there is delay for a lawyer to register something, there are times where that shouldn't be a matter of the new buyer, but that's what title insurance covers as well.
嗱，成日咧就聽到 Title Defect， 其實 Title Defect 係指啲乜嘢咧？
Title defect would be those negative registrations that we talked about. So if someone fraudulently registered the line of credit, or if there was a builder or something like that that had registered a lien, or even if something called like a certificate of lis pendens was sitting on the title that wasn't registered when the previous owner had the property, those would be defects to the title.
咁 Title Insurance 幾多錢㗎？
The cost of title insurance, normally when it sits in or around the $500,000 mark, the policy can be around $300 to $400, and then it scales up more afterwards. So it's according to the price of the purchase of the property.
咁有冇 expiry day 嘅咧？
Like I said a little earlier, title insurance covers not only that gap period before registration of ownership, it also covers the entire time that you own the property, that gap coverage, as long as you're the owner, you will be the owner of the property and the title insurance persists. And that is essentially just that one-time payment.
嗱，咁樣如果前屋主後院個 deck 同埋個 fence 過咗鄰居嘅範圍，咁 Title Insurance 就保唔保咧？
If it was in that situation that had occurred, what will happen, you can close the transaction through title insurance. However, I do want to note, in Alberta, we have something called a real property report. If you want to develop your property, you will need to have a valid real property report. It only covers the transaction part. That's something to consider as an owner.
咁樣 owner 嘅 Title Insurance 同 lender 嘅 Title Insurance 有冇咩嘅分別嘅咧？
Lender policy is essentially just the bank or whatever lender you're using, just giving them a stronger right to enforce their loan or mortgage against the individual or the property at whole. And then the owner policy is essentially what we talked about a little earlier, those negative registrations. So those lines of credits, those builder's liens, those are those things that the owner's policy would be more considered towards.
咁買家如果想買 Title Insurance 啦，咁應該去邊度買㗎？
That will be discussed when you go to your law firm and you'll be discussing with the lawyer. The lawyer will provide you that information, and then that's where you'll purchase the title insurance.
咁樣入咗伙之後啦，仲可唔可以買 Title Insurance 咧？
That actually depends on the title insurance coverage. Technically, you can, but there are some companies that do not allow title insurance purchase after the purchase property. So they usually require the lawyer on transaction day.
今日咧，我好多謝張律師嚟同我哋講解啊 Title Insurance。如果大家對 Title Insurance 有任何嘅疑問，或者咧有其他地產法律嘅問題，可以直接聯絡張律師，或者喺下面留言。多謝大家收睇，我哋下一集再見啦，拜拜。
Thank you again, Vivian. Thanks for having me over. And if you need anything, please let our office know. Thank you so much.